Yes, assalamu alaikum. So I remember once in a test, I think it was like the STAR test or whatever. It's like basically the state test for the end of school. I know for different states, at least in the United States, it's called different stuff. Like in Massachusetts, where I used to live, it's called the MCAS. Basically, the end of year test for the state, right? They would. And there was one time there was a question, and it was along the lines of, should you be optimistic or realistic? I remember that was the question. And I think it might have even said, you can't say, if you did it, I'm not sure. I think in the answer, it also said, like, oh, you can't just pick both, like, oh, you both or whatever, whatever. But in all honesty, I heard a quote actually just yesterday. It was, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And that is exactly the answer to that question. Realism and optimism have their extremes. I guess to pick one, okay, like to be honest, you can make the argument, oh, if I had to pick one, then which one would I pick? Someone could say optimism because it's going to get them the most results anyways. But someone could say realistic because, like, oh, like, I don't want to delude myself. That's the whole point. Like, you should have, but they're not actually mutually exclusive to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. That's not mutually exclusive. If you're realistic, that doesn't mean you're scared. That if you're realistic, that doesn't mean you can't hope for the best. It's like, let's say the hurricane example. Hurricane just hit like last week. I see the news and the hurricane is coming, right? What do? Let's say I go to Walmart or whatever store. I get whatever I need, toilet paper, food, batteries, flashlight, candles, and I come home with all this stuff. And after that, what do? I hope for the best. I don't know, maybe I might make dua. I don't know, maybe I'll continue the stuff as I'm doing so far, like in my house, and I'll just continue my work and stuff. But I'll be prepared. Like if stuff happens, then I can just, okay, I have the tools, I have the resources. Okay, boom. And I guess you can also have a plan for that. So like, oh, if the power goes down, and I'm at home, what am I gonna do then? Okay, what does this stuff have to do? Okay, well, maybe I can read this book, maybe I can read a Quran, maybe I can finish my journal, maybe I can do this or that. So I think this is just a quick reminder it's interesting. A lot of people think that they are mutually exclusive. But to be honest, in fairness, like not in fairness, but most people do take this to an extreme, to be honest. And it's mostly to the side of realism. People are always realistic. Being realistic, this is actually a separate point, but being realistic is almost like a disease. It's like a pandemic almost. I think I just spit at the camera. What the heck? I don't know if you saw that or not, but being realistic is almost like a disease. People who are overly realistic can never achieve any great feat because they're just limited by their own mind. That's why. Actually, let me go find the book. I'm gonna unplug my phone. That's why this book right here is such a really good book. I didn't even finish it yet. I only read the beginning. The Magic of Thinking Big. This is a really good book. And this is why when people talk about, and most people are realistic, right? And when people talk about, like manifestation, people talk about manifestation. Oh, think it's going to happen, believe it's going to happen, and then just sit there and do nothing, and then it will come. That's why people hate optimism, and they think like optimism and manifestation, whatever, are like the same thing. And manifestation is, I'm not even too much into it or whatever, but I think it's like, people think it's just think you're gonna do it and do no action, and then you get stuff. That's not how it works. Obviously Rasulullah, he said, tie your camel and then trust in Allah, obviously, So it's about you believing it and then doing the action. It's a two-step process. You can't have you can't have one without the other, you know? You have to have both. And actually, like, the example it gives here in the beginning of this book, I believe, is, I'm not even gonna look for it, but in the beginning of this book, the example the author gives is that some salespeople, I think some sales guys, they genuinely convince like some sales guys, I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say they average like 10 cars. Or no, I think it's a money goal. So let's say they average like $50,000 a year, right? And they're like, they could genuinely convince them like, okay, believe like you're gonna get like more, you're gonna sell more customers, right? I think it was actually per month, but I don't even care. And they're like, bro, that's like too much. I'm like, that's too high of a goal, and like I don't really know if I can do it. But they just convince them anyways. Like, just try it. Like, just put this as your goal, right? And they put it as the goal, and they actually hit that, which was pretty sick. But anyways, just a quick reminder to tie your camel and then trust in Allah. To be optimistic but also realistic. To hope for the best but prepare for the worst. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.